Day of our fall program content, the last day that we're looking at this book by Pierre Predervan, The Gentle Art of Blessing. And I thought it would be kind of fun, since it's Halloween this week and we have trunk or treat outside after the service, to talk about the masks that we wear. Last week, Scott talked about how we have to bless ourselves. And I don't know if anybody actually does what we tell you to do, but I do. Scott said, bless yourself. And so all week I practiced blessing myself, looking at things that I think I've been doing a pretty good job of. And you know what inevitably happens, at least what happened for me this week, is then I didn't. Then I got into a dark place where I was actually comparing myself to others and coming up short and not feeling so good. And I had a couple of days that were kind of dark, of just feeling really, really bad about myself. Fortunately, I had a conversation with my spiritual director on Friday, and she helped me see that, we are complex beings. We're not only physical beings, we're also emotional beings and spiritual beings. And if any one of those are out of whack, we may not feel so good about ourselves. So it's an opportunity to look. And we may be doing quite a bit of self-judgment, which I'm pretty good at. I couldn't even come up with the word. Pretty good at that. Some of those times when we get to that are just masks that we wear. The mask of judgment, the mask of self-judgment, of the inner critic, and they don't really serve us. If you go on vacation with me, you may have a surprise picture show up every now and then, and this picture was taken about almost 2 years ago. You want to show that first picture? Of us having some fun with some facial masks. I'm not going to mention any names and who they are, so if you don't know who they are, don't ask me. They said I could show the picture, but I'm not going to say a name. You can take it down now, that's long enough. But when we wear a facial mask like that, we can bless that mask because it's there to do some good for us. It's there to cleanse our skin and remove the dead skin cells that no longer serve us. Same is true with any kind of mask that we wear. That it's there to teach us something when we become aware of it, when we notice it. It's there to teach us. It's there to show us where maybe we need to expand our level of awareness, our spiritual awareness. Maybe we need to just expand our consciousness, change our perspective a little. The mask is there for a reason. And my spiritual director said something along the lines of, if you believe that the universe is always working towards your higher good, which I do, then when you find yourself in a dark place, a not so happy place, then you can ask, what good is this preparing me for? Because it's always working out for my highest good. So what is going on right now in my life that it's preparing me for? What greater good is it preparing me for? It's a beautiful way to look at that. And so we talk about blessings. As we're talking about blessings, I hope that you've all been working on this practice, because it's a beautiful practice and it really makes you come from your heart and live in the present moment. On Friday, Kevin and I had an opportunity to go with the Larsons to a benefit concert for a young woman who is going through cancer. She's in stage 4. It's spread throughout her body. She's a young, beautiful musician. And that was definitely blessings in action. The love that we felt in that room with this room full of musicians, this room full of people wanting to just support Amanda Capper and give her the love was amazing. Everybody looked beyond. You look beyond the cancer. You look beyond the diagnosis. You look beyond what's going on in the body and see this beautiful soul. And she got up and performed, and it just shined right through her, the beauty. One of her friends did a documentary on her journey through cancer, and they showed her in the hospital, and they showed her getting injections, and they showed her getting radiation to her brain, and they showed her shaving her head, and her friends shaving their heads. And it was such an outpouring of love and support, and the friends that surrounded her throughout this process. It was really an emotional few moments for me. It brought back my own journey of cancer. But then I felt, and this was towards the end of my couple of dark days, like I was so blessed that mine was simple, that mine didn't extend to what she's going through. And in that present moment, I could only feel an overwhelming amount of gratitude and love and honor to be at this benefit concert to support her, what she was going through. We can only bless from the present. We can't bless from our heads. We can't bless when we're thinking about the past or the future. We have to bless only in the present moment. And Pierre Pradervan says this about that. We live in societies where most people are either living in the past with regret, resentment, or remorse, or in the future with hopes, I'm supposed to say hopes, fears, ambitions, dreams, and plans of all sorts. Yes, we can only live, really live, in the present moment by moment. Think about a boat. If you think about a boat and you look behind it and there's a wake, and that wake shows you where you've been. Just like our past memories show us where we've been, but it doesn't drive the boat. We need to stay present. Stay present in order to bless from the heart. A couple of weeks ago, Monday night, Kevin was staying with our granddaughters down in Littleton, and I was home alone. It was the first time I was home alone since my intruder/Mylar balloon incident. And it's so easy when you're lying alone in the dark to go back to that feeling, that fear, that overwhelming fear that I felt when I thought there was an intruder in my bedroom. And, that's living in the past. And I had to think about what Pierre has been saying in the book is bless the day. Bless the day as you awake. Bless the day, and good things will happen, good opportunities. And I thought, well, why not bless the night? So I blessed the night. I blessed that I was in my comfortable bed with my wonderful down pillow. And I blessed the darkness that allowed me to rest. And I blessed the fan that was working, making white noise for me, and just blessed it all. And I was able to stay in that present moment. Everything was safe. Everything is fine. There were no balloons in the house. There were no intruders in the house. And I've been doing that every night since then, and I've been sleeping really well. I'm not a good sleeper normally. So if you ever have trouble sleeping, I suggest bless the night. Bless it. Where our bodies need that time to rest. Pierre also says this: if our state of consciousness contributes to a great extent to the creation of our reality, and I believe it does, and the very experiences we encounter, then a spirit that is aware and alert and a heart that is at peace are sorely needed for the healing of many of these ills. And the gentle art of blessing helps at all times to keep an alert mind and spirit and a compassionate, serene heart. It's so important for us to bless and to bless ourselves, to bless others and bless ourselves, and be gentle with ourselves, as Janice's first song talked about. Be gentle with yourself. There's a woman that came across my radar by looking at the Gentle Art of Blessing website. And she goes by the name of Sister Frida. Sister Frida never allowed any interviews of her, but somebody caught her on their small camera in the Zurich train station. You want to show a picture of Sister Frida? See, to bless people is to wish them well with all your heart, she says. Now, she knew somebody was filming her, but she did this for 10 to 15 years. She was a retired nurse, but she felt this calling to go to the train station and bless people. She'd do it for 14 hours a day. And she lived in a retirement home, and she had somebody drop her off in the morning and then pick her up later in the evening. And she stood in the middle of the train station, and she'd move around. There's a video of this. It's just a still picture from the video, because I couldn't find anything else on her whatsoever, because she didn't want to be acknowledged for what she was doing. She felt it was her guidance telling her to do this. And the video is just her. You just see her kind of leaning on her wheelchair, moving around a little, and just looking at all the people that pass by with eyes of love. It's really a beautiful practice. This is taking it to the extreme, maybe. Somebody said, is she mad? What a thing to be mad about. I mean, if you're going to bless people, it's beautiful. Sister Frida. First service, I used my notes. Because I'm now thinking, what's next? Give me a moment. It'll come to me. Thank you. Yes, let's all just pause and think about blessing each other. Totally blank. Let's look at the paper. Okay. Got it. Yeah, so, okay, what is my angst with all this? I've said this several times, and it's a very simple practice, but it's not easy. It's not easy to bless people when you see things about them that you don't like, or things that they're doing that you don't agree with, and to still come from the heart and look for the good that's there. That if we are Unity Truth students, we know that we are all created in this same image and likeness of God, and we are all have this good inherent goodness. But it's not always easy to remind ourselves to look for it or to see it because of the masks. The masks that we wear, the masks that we are perceiving they're wearing. It's challenging. But I'm going to set an intention to continue with this. I know our program's going to be over, but this has changed my life, this practice. It's changed the way I look at things. And it's not my first reaction most of the time to bless someone. My activity kicks up, and then I remember, oh yeah, bless them. Bless them. Everybody's doing the best they can with what they have and what they've been given in their set of circumstances that they're living with. If you haven't been with us throughout this fall program, this book, I just want to go over just a few of the highlights from it. And one is that blessings come from the heart, not from the head. We set an intention that we're going to bless, but the blessing has to come from the heart. And the more we bless and the more we come from our heart and extend out to others, the more we receive blessings. We don't do it so we can receive or that we can have good come to us, but it happens anyway. And the goodness is often hidden under many layers of masks, either ours or the other person with whom we don't necessarily want to bless or find it challenging to bless. But if we start that process and practice looking for the good, we will always find it. It's always there. And then we have to bless ourselves. It's a really important piece of it. Don't forget to be gentle with yourself and bless yourself and see the goodness in you. If it wasn't in you, you wouldn't be able to see it in anyone else. And then continue a life of blessing, of sending out well wishes to everybody, every situation. There's a video I'm going to show, and I went back and forth on whether to show this or not. I'll explain why later, but it's our message. And it's shown in a funny way, but it's our message. So I want to invite you to just stay open to the personalities, the mass involved. Want to show that?
This weekend I went to Dallas for the Cowboys game, and thanks. And it may not seem like a big deal for a celebrity to attend a football game, but I never leave my house, so it is a big deal. I go through the drive-thru at Wendy's, so I only have to see one person. I'm that kind of person. So there were 100,000 people in this stadium, beautiful stadium, by the way, the Dallas house. So Portia and I were invited by Charlotte Jones. She's the daughter of Jerry Jones, who owns the Dallas Cowboys. And we went because we wanted to keep up with the Joneses. So anyway, so we get to sit in this very fancy suite because, you know, he owns the whole place. So his suite is fancy, and he's got fancy friends. And I don't mean fancy like Real Housewife fancy. I mean like fancy. Look, I took a video of who was next to me. And that was Charlotte Jones, Portia was talking to, and George W. Bush, and then in front of us was the tallest man in the world. And, so I've got to say, when we were invited, I was aware that I was going to be surrounded with people from very different views and beliefs, and I'm not talking about politics. I was rooting for the Packers, and get this, everybody in the Cowboys suite was rooting for the Cowboys. And so I had to hide my cheese hat in Portia's purse. And don't get me wrong, I like the Cowboys. I love the Cowboys. I love all the Village people, as a matter of fact. But Aaron Rodgers is a friend of mine. He's the quarterback for the Packers, and so I'm sitting in the Cowboys suite, the owner of the Cowboys, and secretly cheering every time the Packers scored, or every time another whistleblower came forward. And the referees, you guys, the referees. But during the game, they showed a shot of George and me laughing together, and so people were upset. They thought, why is a gay Hollywood liberal sitting next to a conservative Republican president? Didn't even notice I'm holding the brand new iPhone 11. And, but a lot of people were mad, and they did what people do when they're mad. They tweet, and but here's one tweet that I loved. This person says, Ellen and George Bush together makes me have faith in America again. And, I'm friends with George Bush. In fact, I'm friends with a lot of people who don't share the same beliefs that I have. We're all different, and I think that we've forgotten that that's okay, that we're all different. For instance, I wish people wouldn't wear fur. I don't like it, but I'm friends with people who wear fur. And I'm friends with people who are furry, as a matter of fact. I have friends who should tweeze more. And I have, but just because I don't agree with someone on everything doesn't mean that I'm not going to be friends with them. When I say be kind to one another, I don't mean only the people that think the same way that you do. I mean be kind to everyone. Doesn't matter.
So the reason why I had a hard time deciding whether to do that, if you go to YouTube and see this video, there are lots and lots of hate comments towards both of them, towards Ellen and George W. Bush. And so I reacted to that. I didn't at first bless all those people that made comments. I reacted, and it made me angry. And it doesn't matter if you like Ellen or if you like President Bush or not. Her message is what we're talking about. Her message is be kind to everyone. Bless everyone. Love your neighbor, no exceptions, is what we're aiming to do here. And that includes people that made negative comments about her and President Bush being friends, both sides. And like I said, it's not necessarily my first reaction, but I got to that point where I could just say, well, bless them in their consciousness that is ever expanding. Bless them in their love for others who aren't like them, because that is within them. It's within each of us. If you have a reaction to the video or a reaction to something you're hearing, what mask of judgment are you wearing? Is it serving you? We got to question that. Unity Minister Robert Brummett says, and I think I've shared this before, we have to wake up and grow up and show up. The world needs more awake people. Our planet needs us to be awake, to work on our own stuff, to work on our own reactivity, and come from that heart place. Come from that place of love for everyone, whether you agree with them or not, whether you like them or not, whether you like their personality or not. Everyone has that same inner goodness. Challenging, but so important. And that's why here at Columbine, our mission is we inspire personal transformation. If we don't transform ourselves, if we don't come from an awake and grown-up place, how can we go out in the world and serve? We have to. So the invitation is always there. And not just for us, it's for everyone that we interact with. This quote was on the internet. I'm not sure who wrote it. God didn't add another day to your life because you needed it. He did it because someone out there needs you. Someone out there needs you, and needs you awake and aware of the Spirit, of the divine presence that is in each of us. It's important work. So as we go forward, I invite you to continue this blessing practice. Even though the book will be, months from now, continue blessing. Continue coming from the heart. Continue looking for the good. We'd love to hear from any of you next Sunday. If you've got testimonials, if you've got stories to share about how this has changed your life, this blessing practice, we'd love to hear from you. So email me or email Scott and let us know if you want to participate in the service next week, sharing your blessing stories. We'd love to hear them. Love to hear how this has changed your life, how you've opened your heart. God bless all of you. Namaste.